Now, without further ado, let's officially begin with the event's welcoming remarks. It is my honor to introduce a true leader in the chemical industry. Please join me in welcoming our first speaker for the day, Engineer Abdulrahman Al-Fageeh, CEO of SABIC and Chairman of GPCA.
Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In my capacity as a chairman of the Gulf Petrochemical and Chemical Association, I have the privilege of welcoming you all to the 18th edition of the annual GPCA Forum. This is the first annual forum that hosted and held here in Muscat, and I'm grateful to the OQ company, the host, for making it possible. I also appreciate the support that GPCA has received from the Oman Ministry of Energy Affairs and Minerals and the other ministries. The last three words of the forum for the global progress implies that the chapter scope will not be limited just to the Gulf region. What we discuss here in Muscat impacts the entire world. But the opposite is also true. What is happening around the global impacts our discussion here. Indeed, our industry marches to the global economy's rhythm. So let me briefly remind you how things have been going in the world economy. Although some major manufacturing countries did experience economic slowdowns, global GDP has actually seen a modest growth of about 2.7% so far this year, which is not very different from last year, 2023. Inflation has eased. The central banks have begun lowering interest rates. This is good news for us. But it still won't be smooth sailing ahead of us. We will need more than modest GDP growth and more than favorable monetary conditions to boost global demand to match our industry, the global capacity of petrochemicals. So, although we have no reason to expect the economy to get worse, neither can we expect the business environment to get much better, at least in the short term. In the long term, there is still plenty to be optimistic about. However, so that's why it makes sense to prepare ourselves now for the long term to begin writing the next chapter of our industry, so to speak. Now, as we prepare for the long-term future of our industry, the single most impactful thing we can do now is to inspire young people to pursue meaningful careers in chemicals and in petrochemicals industry. So I'm proud of what GPCA has been doing to refill our industry's talent pool. Last year, almost 400 men and women attended annual forum. I'm hoping that many of them have come back this year with some more companions. Whether it is through initiatives like the Youth Council or engagement with university students, GPCA demonstrates its commitment to empowering young minds. Indeed, youth empowerment is a central pillar in the national development vision of the GCC countries in totality. Another central pillars of GCC national vision for the future is entrepreneurship GPCA recognized this is today. That's why it has recognized what is called a startup nexus, networking as a networking platform as part of the annual forum. So what else can our industry do to prepare itself for the future? Well, I think it is clear that the concept of sustainability will determine the way of petrochemicals and their derivatives products are manufactured, used, and disposed in the future. And that's why the main theme of this conference revolves around crucial issue, which depends on reduction or removal or total removal of carbon dioxide emissions and the reuse of recycling manufactured products. With the right regulatory framework, the chemical industry can help establish value chain that offer sustainable solutions. But to do so, it will need to design, build, and run facilities according to the state of the art. So access a low-cost capital, innovative technology, and specialized skills will have to be facilitated through much more international collaboration. For their part, nations must reserve enough flexibility to adopt circularity, promoting climate-friendly measures that best fit their circumstances. After all, countries vary widely in terms of their natural resources and their stage of development. Ladies and gentlemen, resolving the complex issues around sustainable global economic growth will not be easy. It will require multiple parties from the private sector to engage with multiple parties from the public sector and the nationals, regionals, and global levels. But that's why we have the GPCA. That's why we have the GPCA Annual Forum. Over the next few days, government officials, business leaders, technology providers, industrial observers, and last but not least, our youth will share their perspectives on how to create a sustainable future for the Gulf petrochemical industry. I urge you to pay attention. You may be a lead character in the industrial's next chapter. Thank you very much.